How you doing, guys? This is a rough time we're all going through. Because deep down, all of us just want wrestling to be good. And honestly, it won't get that way if WWE does not listen to their fans. So, Daniel Bryan did not win the 2015 Royal Rumble. The most over person in the company, despite the fact that he had been out for what, like 8 months, 10 months? I can't put a number on it. It had to have been 8. Yeah, 8. So, Daniel Bryan, he remains the most over person in the company. People just want him. And, it's one thing, sure, he got his opportunity. First off, this is just going to be a rant. I'm just going to start ranting. I don't have any thoughts planned out. I'm just going to rant. Daniel Bryan did win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30. It was a great moment. It was a classic moment. However, the reign is what the fans wanted to see. They wanted to see months and months of Daniel Bryan as WWE champion, and we were robbed of that. And it wasn't WWE's fault. It really wasn't Daniel Bryan's fault. I mean, sure, WWE kind of overworked him, which probably made that neck injury worse. But it was just a misfire. It was unfortunate. It sucked for Daniel Bryan that his big moment had to be taken away from him. We did get a good match with Kane at Extreme Rules, but really, aside from that, we didn't get Daniel Bryan as champion. We really didn't. We didn't get to see the classic matches he could have had with, I don't know, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns even. And and he was probably going to have that match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Would he have gotten squashed? Maybe, I don't know, but that's a different story for another day. Anyway, he comes back from injury, and this match is made for him. Guys, when he entered in at number 10, that crowd erupted. I had never heard a crowd reaction like that before. Psych, I have, but still, you know what I mean. Like, that's the reaction Daniel Bryan gets, and that's the reaction you want your top star to get. Hulk Hogan got those reactions. Stone Cold Steve Austin got those types of reactions. John Cena would get those reactions sometimes until he was fed to us too many times and the fans resented it. And that is the central theme here. Why do the fans love Daniel Bryan so much? Because he's a naturally gifted wrestler who the WWE doesn't want on top. I really feel like that is a big desire from a lot of the fans. I'm not saying that they just don't like Daniel Bryan because he's a great wrestler, because he is, and that's why I love Daniel Bryan too. But you gotta admit that part of that love for Daniel Bryan and that part of, wanting to see him succeed is because of the fact that WWE is not behind him. Roman Reigns is the exact opposite. WWE is behind him. It is one thing to have Daniel Bryan come into this match and lose in like the final 4 or in the last final 6. I don't care. Daniel Bryan was in the match for maybe 7 minutes. He entered it at number 10 and then he got eliminated right before number 16 came out, which I believe was Goldust. And the fans just stopped caring. And this isn't I also went on Tumblr because I was curious to see their reactions, because Tumblr and YouTube have very different wrestling fan bases. Tumblr is a lot more optimistic and YouTube's a lot more pessimistic, and I see the fault in both of them, and honestly, both of the fan bases kind of annoy the hell out of me, to be honest. There's some good people in there, but, majority of the time it annoys me. When Roman Reigns won, Tumblr kind of criticized the crowd, saying oh, just because your favorite didn't win doesn't mean you have to shit on the rest of the match. I don't think this is just a favorite wrestler not winning a match. That's beyond that. In the 2013 Royal Rumble, I knew Chris Jericho wasn't going to win the Royal Rumble match, despite the fact that he was my favorite, but I didn't let that ruin the match for me. Granted, it's kind of a bad example, but here's my thing. This isn't just, oh, he was our favorite wrestler and he lost. Well, fuck this. No, that's not what this is. This is them saying, WWE, you do not care about us, so we're not caring about you. If WWE cared about their fans, they'd put Daniel Bryan in the top spot. This is what boggles my mind. Vince McMahon, Kevin Dunn, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, whoever's in charge of that company, you don't make this company to entertain yourselves. You do it to entertain the people. So why not give them what they want? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Roman Reigns came out at number 19 and he got booed. He got booed hard. And honestly, if Daniel Bryan were still in the match at that point, I don't think Roman Reigns would have gotten that severe of a reaction. Granted, maybe he would have gotten a few cheers, a few boos, Philadelphia is a pretty harsh crowd, but still. But the problem is, when Daniel Bryan was out, people knew Roman Reigns is winning this match. Not to mention, the Royal Rumble in and of itself was pretty horrible. I mean, even if Daniel Bryan won, the way like a lot of the things were, if they kept it the way they were, it still was kind of a weird Rumble. Like, Bray Wyatt dominated in the beginning, that was okay. But like, Kane and Big Show, like they just threw guys out like they were just complete losers. Like Cesaro, Ziggler, Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose kind of got that treatment too. It was just terrible. And like, the fans rioting, I see both good and bad in that, because the bad is wrestling fans get a bad reputation. And like people being idiots, like going up to people's cars, like, come on, But I do appreciate the fans taking a stand saying, like, because I remember Diesel 101 Raw mentioned this. It was like, WWE loves to crack jokes at us, but like, it's like that, that comparison of like, handling explosives. You got to keep it at a cool temperature and nothing will go wrong until you do. And then it explodes on you, It's just, that's what it's like. It's like you can't you get pushed so many times until you just stop caring. And people on Tumblr like to make it seem like everyone hates Roman Reigns. That's not true. I do think people's hate on Roman Reigns is kind of blowing a little bit out of proportion. Roman Reigns is not the worst thing to ever happen to wrestling. And, people love to call him John Cena too, but he's also being treated like a John Cena, like he's the cancer of wrestling. Anyway, Roman Reigns is not the be-all, end-all of wrestling. However, it's just, he's the target, because people are like, don't take it out on Roman Reigns. But the problem is, there's no one else for the fans to take it out on. They could just say, like, Vince McMahon, Triple H, they're not out there wrestling. It's Roman Reigns. They have to take their anchor out on him. It's unfortunate for Roman Reigns, and I knew Roman Reigns winning this Royal Rumble would not be a good idea, considering you have Daniel Bryan, who's still insanely over. And I mean, if Daniel Bryan had had a healthy title reign, the fans probably wouldn't want to see him win the Royal Rumble. Granted, they love another Daniel Bryan main event in WrestleMania, but they wouldn't be clamoring for it. They'd be fine with new blood. I'm glad that, it wasn't a veteran like Batista winning again, but still, the fans just were not invested in him. I think Roman Reigns can be something really, really good in the future. However, this just isn't the right time. It's almost ridiculous. And people are just trying to make this out to be like, oh, I guess you just don't like Roman Reigns, and like, oh, well, if you don't like it, stop watching it. I hate that argument. I hate it. I can't tell you how much I hate if you don't like WWE, don't watch it. No. It's not that I don't like WWE. I just want wrestling to be good again. If anything, I think some of the most loyal fans are the fans who complain and come back to it. You can call them, WWE apologists or WWE fanboys or WWE sheep. For a majority of them, because I do my fair share of criticizing WWE. I complain about WWE. I tell everyone how stupid WWE is and how they just make the dumbest decisions ever and how it's impossible for them to make the same mistake twice. But I'll still watch Raw every Monday, and it's because I have this hope. I have this desire in me to see wrestling become good again. I know that it will eventually happen. There's no way WWE can just stay horrible for the rest of its existence. I know that sounds weird and optimistic, but I truly believe that. There's going to be another peak in wrestling. I know there is. It's just a matter of when. And I just want to be there for it. I just want wrestling to be good again. And you have guys, like, here's the big disconnect between NXT and WWE. Who was the most over guy in NXT? Sami Zayn. Who won the championship? Sami Zayn. Like, oh my God. It just blows my mind how a company can just, I can't even put it into words. Let me just say this. The fans booing Roman Reigns is not a sign of they think Roman Reigns is shit. It's frustration. It's a lack of listening. WWE is not listening to their fan base. Again. They did this again. And this is hurting Roman Reigns. Now, you could expect that fans would be angry. Like, here's an example. In the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt eliminated Bubba Ray Dudley. The fans booed. And it wasn't a, oh my God, that's the worst thing you could ever do. It was a, oh, we wanted to see Bubba Ray, do some more 3Ds to people. And now we can't see that. And it was like a boo, but the fans forgot about it just because they liked Bubba Ray Dudley. The thing about Daniel Bryan being eliminated is that is the person the fans want. And WWE is just treating him like shit. It's just mind-boggling. It's just you can't. It's hard to put into words. I don't understand it. No one will understand it. I'm just Bed Bath and Beyond done with this shit. It's terrible. And I mean, I don't see Daniel Bryan honestly being interjected into the main event. I've heard the ideas of, oh, he never lost the title. Well, that's true, but I don't think they want another three-way for the WrestleMania main event. And stop acting like, oh, Daniel Bryan got his chance. Bullshit, he got his chance. First off, he wasn't even supposed to be in the main event of WrestleMania 30 anyway. So don't act like he's been handed all these opportunities. He really hasn't, okay? The fans got it for him, and the fans are going to have to do it again. I wouldn't be, I don't want to see Daniel Bryan walk out, but I mean, it's just bullshit the way they treat him and the fact that he's the most over person. He's probably the best wrestler they have. No, he's not probably the best wrestler. He is the best wrestler on that roster. And he can have so many great matches with so many great guys like Reigns, like Ambrose, like Rollins, like Rusev, like all the other guys in NXT like Balor, Itami, Breeze, Zayn, and guys like Cesaro and Swagger. And I could name every wrestler on the roster because Daniel Bryan can have a good match with everyone. Daniel Bryan is the future. The fans, and you can say, oh, the fans don't know what they want. Bullshit, the fans don't know what they want. Okay? You can give Daniel Bryan, and eventually Daniel Bryan's act could become stale, and then the fans get tired, so you change up. It's not rocket science. WWE acts like the slightest change in a fan's reaction is like the most catastrophic thing in the world. It's not. Look at CM Punk, okay? CM Punk was so hot in 2011, and then he gets the WWE title run, and then what was happening by next year? Punk was kind of getting like I'm kind of tired of seeing CM Punk, and they gave him Paul Heyman, gave it a new dynamic. The fans want Daniel Bryan. Trust the fans. The fans are the one who buy your products. The fans are the ones who are going to buy the WWE Network, which, by the way, is going to plummet because you keep toying with the fans. The fans are the ones who keep your company afloat. What about that fucking promo that they shoot every, Raw where it's there's, two production trucks, all these light bulbs, all these pyrotechnics, but there's no WWE without you. Wow, that promo is a lot of bullshit because apparently they don't care. You might think I'm being too overdramatic about this, but I really am not, okay? Daniel Bryan is clearly the man the fans want. What is the problem with giving the fans what they want? No one's going to think less of you. Just be in it's oh my god. I'm gonna end it here, guys, because I honestly it just blows my mind. I don't understand it. I don't know if I ever will. But, until then, it looks like WrestleMania 31's main event's going to be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, which I'm not going to say is horrible. I'm sure it'll be good. It's not what the fans want. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that's what matters the most.